Today it's back to normality, moving the speakers that I moved back home due to the lockdown virus crisis, moving them back to the studio. Because I think, at least here in Germany, we're over like the worst part of it, hopefully. And Vanessa really dislikes them being at home. So let's get them to the studio.
I'm sad, but I don't cry. I care, but you don't mind. You said that we should give it up while I give it my last try. You run while I keep trust. There's a distance between us.
Finally back where they belong. Still need to adjust them a little more. But that's totally something for tomorrow, because I got a special guest today in the studio. What's the plan? First beach or first car washing? The cable that comes with that spray high pressure thing is way too short. I need to buy a new one. So we always have to move the car a little and spray out of the door, but getting it clean.
Everything you've said and done, you fucked up. It cuts like a knife.
I think she's having fun. That's really a nice refreshment. I can't stop. Okay.
It was all about you.
We just went to Aldi, bought something nice, really nice. I'll share it with you at the end of the video. I can't believe that it was just like $100. It's crazy, really crazy. Really excited. But now, time for another Q&A. You guys ask me questions, I answer them, because that's all I can do today, because the rest of the day is just staying at home due to the virus crisis. There's not much I could do. First up, how many hours do you take to complete a track? This highly depends. A remix, maybe 20, 25 hours. An original, probably 30, 50, 80, up to sometimes 200 hours if I get stuck and rework it. But then it's usually almost like another track. And I have to say, the more I advance in my music production, the more time I actually spend on each and every individual track. Back in the days, 10 hours, 15 hours, now 10, 15 hours is definitely not enough. I'm trying out way more different routes to see which one actually leads me to the best result. Any chance of you live streaming making a song? That was actually the plan. I tried it out. I live streamed like 5 or 6 times and did Q&As or like track submit feedback things where you send me your songs and I give you feedback. But the connection, every time I started Logic, my computer couldn't handle it. Live streaming, the internal graphics plus the sound quality was really shitty. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense for me. Maybe once I get the right equipment, then maybe. But now with building the new studio, I will have absolutely no time. I will just make music, build the studio, and that's it. Speaking of the new studio, the next question is all about the ceiling that I wanted to build. As I told you, I wanted to build like an LED ceiling similar to the Batman movie thing. And a lot of you were concerned that it will reflect. And yes, you're right, if I would build it exactly the same as in the movie, because they're using like some plastic that lets light through, and it definitely bounces back. And if the entire ceiling is made out of a hard surface, it doesn't work. I will use instead a fabric, like, you know, those fabrics that you use for soft boxes, the ones that you use to light yourself. It's just like a fabric that is, I think it's like made out of plastic, but it's very thin and you can't even breathe through. So the sound will go through it. Then there will be only the LED stripes that are very small, so they won't really affect the sound. And then at least like 30 centimeters of absorbing material. So the ceiling will be 99.9% absorbing, same as every wall around. The floor won't, because it's not possible, but underneath of the floor there will be also a layer of absorption. And the floor itself, I told you I want to use this highly reflective, shiny floor. It's actually made out of vinyl, so it's like a rubbery kind of feel, and it doesn't reflect more than any normal wood kind of floor. It's basically the same. It's like a very thin foil printed on wood, and yeah, like there are a lot of like details I'm thinking about, and it will be perfect, trust me. How much do you pay for vocals? If I get a top line, like a finished top line, they get 50% of the copyright usually, and then a fee for recording it. This can be 200, 300, up to 1,500. Some even charge 2,500, but then those are like famous people, like people that work together with David Guetta and stuff like that. But you could always also just give them a split of the master and not pay the fee, and this way have no upfront costs. It's really up to negotiating it. When will the next big festival happen? I don't know. I really don't know. This year, no festival, not a single festival. Even if any government on this planet would allow it, there is no way for people to travel to that festival. Let's take Tomorrowland, like half, more than half, like I'd say like 80, 90% or even more are not even, because it's in Belgium, yeah, like Belgium is small. So it's all the people from the surrounding countries, and traveling for them will be really hard. So festivals this year, 100% not. I know a friend that works for, I mean, I can't say the name of the company, but it's like one of the biggest, or it's actually the biggest company that does concerts for like the huge pop superstar, like the top 50 in the world. They canceled any kind of touring for all of their artists, and they start starting to plan again concerts in 2021 at the very end, October. That's where they will meet again to start planning. Before that, none of that is going to happen. How did you go from earning no money on music to be able to do it full time? Wow. Actually, this entire journey is captured here on this channel. I started 4 years ago with daily vlogging, and before that half a year weekly vlogging. So it's all on here, very detailed. It's just like tiny steps here and there. There's no one thing that changed everything for me. That didn't happen. So I'd say if you just really love making music and you spend as much time as possible on learning and being just like the best music producer you could possibly be, you'll advance. Also connect with the right people, like everything, very important. Will you ever start a different project alias with music that doesn't fit Jon Sine style? Maybe. Maybe there is already one out and no one knows about it. Who knows? I'm a small producer, want to start my music career. Do you have any advice for someone today starting? I mean, obviously you need like the basic equipment. You need to understand your DAW. You need to know music theory and how music works. You have to have a knowledge of music. You have to listen to a lot of music. And then just learn, train, and those first 3 years are just all about that. After like 2 or 3 years, you might be able to make a full song that sounds okay, maybe even ready for release, and then worry about marketing, branding, social media, connecting with people. But first, the music. That's like your key to the music industry world. Without good music, like even good connections are worthless. What do you think about using sample loops and making beats and songs? It's music, it's free, just do whatever you want. Me personally, I don't know why, but I'm the type of guy I want to make everything myself. So I rarely use loops or like samples, very rarely. How much do you make with your songs, with streams? I mean, I don't think it's anyone's business how much money I make. It's a lot better than years ago. I was so broke like 3 years ago. Like I couldn't pay rent and food, so I'm really happy where I am right now. I mean, if you really want to know, you could just like calculate my Spotify streams, you could calculate my YouTube views, plus then some side projects. I sometimes still do like music for advertisement just to have that little extra for things like building the new studio. There's a bunch of stuff that goes into it, but I'm doing fine. I'm not rich, I'm not poor, I'm like just average. I finally reached a point where I make as much as like my friends that have normal jobs and are the same age as me. So I'm really happy, and like things are growing, advancing, almost 100k on YouTube, which is really, really nice. Still need to think of a special. If any one of you has any idea what I should do when I hit 100k, let me know. Anyways, I can't wait. It's time for that Aldi 100 bucks surprise. A beefer that just makes perfect grilled seared steak. Is it good like this, or a little more?
Yeah, well, maybe a few seconds more.
Okay. Just looks so amazing. This thing was definitely worth it. Do you agree? You want to sign out?
Yeah, bye-bye.
You said that we should give it up while I give it my